Hey, people. About 15 years ago, I was having some child custody problems. So I went to see the only lawyer that I like, and she told me, go to the office next door and see James. He specializes in that. He just went through that with his own son. And so I went to talk to him, and, he's a lawyer judge. They take turns, they play both sides. And he asked me, I have any other convictions? And I told him, well, yeah, about 10 years prior, I was growing some weed, and I was looking at 20 years. And he said, yeah, that's outrageous. And he felt the need to tell me about another outrageous case. He said he was defending a prominent coast businessman that the FBI was wanting and got on his computer, and they found child porn on his computer, and he said the sentence is way too much. He says it's more than murder. He said they wanted him for something else and got his computer and found some saved child porn files. I said, good luck with that. I said, if you got child porn on your computer, you went searching for it. This is 15 years ago, and I wasn't in computers that much then, but I had looked at porn on a computer before, and I ain't never seen no child porn. And even if you had Googled teen porn, you're going to get girls from 30 to 65 that still fit in their high school cheerleader uniform. If you got child porn on a computer, you was searching for it. I ain't never seen it. He says, well, you got to Google the right thing. And he said something, adolescent erotic art or something like that. Something, a proper Latin term for it. And I looked at him. How the hell does they know that? That's the ones that keep the child porn alive, or the judges and the lawyers. They're the ones that are into this. So the reason I'm talking about this, I see it flooded on all Facebook and all the patriot groups, and it's most of it's disinfo agents, and they're trying to get your attention somewhere else because there's some shit going down now. We're fixing to lose the whole country to China if people don't wake up. All your politicians done sold out. All your judges and lawyers, they're all dirty. Everybody who puts on a black suit and goes to work is probably dirty, other than old Willie. But yeah, the majority of that you hear about, is just to shock you and get your attention away from what's really going on. I can't tell you, where to get any answers. I subscribe to a lot of people, and a lot of them I don't even watch their movies. I just look at their headlines to get an idea. And John Masters, I like him, and it doesn't mean he's got the truth, but he tries to put it all out there so you can get an idea of what's out there. And if you go to BitChute and just put Trump in the search, and then go over here and put it on the newest and hit the search, you'll get a lot of news that you don't get other places, but there's a lot of disinfo there. You just got to watch everything and put it together yourself. But, what you will figure out from all this is there is some shit going down, and there is some disinfo agents out there that infiltrated, all the groups that are wanting to do good, and they're trying to lead them off in the wrong path. All throughout the Trump presidency, you've been looking at these reports of these thousands of child traffickers getting caught, and you don't see it on the news anywhere. You only see it in all these dark reports. You don't know if any of that's true. But anything that I see that's telling you to just sit on your hands and Trump's got this, that's disinfo. People need to wake up and do something about it. This scam's been going on forever. And, Exodus 22, I am Yahweh your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And the Latin, they pronounce this X as CH. This is March, M-A-R-C-H, to March. And then if you want to read this final M is a M, it's from crime. X-R-I-M, from crime. I read it as a S, and it fits a lot better. And like I say, it looks like the S. The March from Cries. And sometimes you'll find the 2 after it, from Cries to, or X-R-I-S-T, from Christ. But that was a scam they was using way back then. And you see it here in this XR. This is the word for your adversary, for your foe, for your enemy. This Chiro, the XR, and it's it's the same as sometimes it's in the category of Satan. You see it here in this word. This is just the cries without the M. XRIS, the adversaries. And it comes from here. This is the Chiro, the XR, the Alpha and Omega, and you can read this as Alpha, power forever. The Chiro, power forever. It's what they were trying to escape from way back then. They turn it around. They try to say it's the sign of Christ now. Cha, X, Cha, Harai. But it was way before their claims of Christ. It was from the beginning. It's like I say, it's where they got this word Egypt. There's no Egypt in this word, MXRIM, or it looks more like crime or cries, the March from Cries. But it's the XRIEM or ES, from the cries, from cry, from the adversaries. That was the enemies of the Hebrews. Foe was the enemies. Their army looked like this and their money looked like this. The Chiro, power forever. Always and forever. Power forever. The Chiro was the adversaries, was the foes, was the enemies. And that's what all these words have in common here. Is this XR, they'll read it as a SR, BXR, in the Chiro, and the distress, the tribulation, the trouble, their affliction. XR is their affliction. Egypt was a word created just to hide this. There was no Egypt. Nobody from that area ever heard of Egypt. It came out with the Greek Bible. And their affliction. And you see it 33 times here, a narrow place, adversary, enemy, the distress, a strait, dire straits is where it comes from. Adversaries, limited, foe, enemy, distress. That was the enemy of the Hebrews. The Chiro, power forever, Alpha, Omega. And you can see it when it's written here, with this comes after this tack, and then backwards and forwards, the RX, all the drugs of the Chiro. And that's how they were ruling the world, with drugs. That's how they took over China. They got everybody addicted. Took all the money from China. And you can see here the attacks is also the XRR. And you go to war from alchemy, the drug makers, from the alchemists. In the arch come, in the arch fold from. In the arch, be in arch. KM fold from. In the arch fold from all of the drugs, the RX of the XR, of the Chiro, who oppresses you, the XRR, the Chiro head. R means head. The head of the Chiro, make two. And then you hear this word is saved. This is the SO. Anything with the SO, and then this word for Jesus, ISOU. It's all in the same category as will be saved. And you see it down here on the bottom of this list of words, the Jose, Jesus, these words that look like Jesus all in there. And that's where that come from, is the Savior. And they put everybody sitting on their hands waiting for a Savior to come fix the problem. And it ain't happening. People got to wake up. You see, they'll put any word they can, you know. This has nothing to do with the XR. Now it's MAYBIKS. It's from your enemies. And it's the Ivy. IVI. The Ivy. You see that word comes up as enemies a lot. The Ivy. You know, the Ivy League. All your judges and lawyers come from the Ivy League. And that's this group of words here that mean the enemy. You know, to the Ivy. Two backwards forwards. IVI. The Ivy. And they'll try to throw you off by putting this O in here. OYEBI. But it's a AIBI. Ivy. The enemy. And it reads backwards, beginning with this AIVI. The Ivy. The Ivy League. And you see here this Mizraim. This is the same word for Egypt in the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim. You see, it's the same word here. It comes up 9 times. And it's Mizraim the first 4 times, and then it just turns into the Egyptians. Mizraim, Egypt. And they often give this Chiro, you know, adversary, the enemy, adversary. But, you know, don't forget that Satan is also the adversary. The Satan is an adversary. And so these are old fish head gods, the old Chiros. And they plan on having the power forever. And that's the ones that's running all the child trafficking rings. They're the ones making all the big money off of that. And ain't no Jesus coming to fix it. You know, people got to wake up and figure out that they created this Christ just to take the power of you. And it happened before. You know, it's what the Hebrews were running from the Christ. But this Hebrew book was written as the art of war, to fight back against them, the Chiro. And this Greek book was written to shadow it, just trying to hide it, because they couldn't defeat them. But you look here, and the sons are now Ham as a XAM, and Cush is a XOUS, and Mizraim is a MSARAEIM. Mizraim, and they changed it into Egypt in the Greek, but the word stayed the same in the Hebrew. Alright, people, wake up call. The reason they want to take our guns is because we're really not going to like the next thing they ask of us. Alright, good day.